When I think of the anthrax letter attacks of 10 years ago and what we're facing now, it seems clear to me that we are facing a crisis of legitimacy, that people question the authority of government, they question the different institutions within government, and the case of the anthrax letters and the case against Bruce Ivins in particular raises issues about whether the FBI did a good job, whether the Department of Justice acted fairly, and whether, if there is another event of this sort, we can count on both the workings of justice and also the science behind the investigation to protect the American public. Will the next time around find us unable to locate the criminal, or for some reason or another unable scientifically to determine what is the evidence that would bring justice? I feel generally satisfied with the quality of the science, but there's always ambiguity in science. Questions have now been raised. I think it's not me, it's the American public that needs to be assured about that quality. Was it lacking? Where was it lacking? What should we do? What should we have done before? And I think for that, we're really going to need a really truly scientific commission, the Team A, as I call it, which is made up of people who are really experts on anthrax, not experts on the juridical system or experts in chemistry or physicians, but people who really understand that microbe, understand it in a deep way, who are at the top tier of the profession. And if we can get that group together, I'm not saying it's a big group, it would be a fairly small group, but I think that if it were able to review the evidence, then the public at large could have a feeling that the processes of justice, the gathering of evidence, these things would work better or would work adequate for the next event.
I don't think we do. I think we have seen enough holes in the systems that we have in place and the systems we had in place. There have been changes in those systems already to great benefit, I think, in terms of biosafety and biosecurity, so that we can continue to address the problems that have been identified and change the system going forward to make sure we have safer and more secure biological workplaces. In the biological community, as in all workplaces, I think one of the places we need to head is towards healthy and productive workplaces in which we create cultures in which employees are looking out for each other, supervisors are looking out for each other and their employees, and there's a culture in the organization of taking care of each other. And that will go a long way towards addressing the safety issues and also some of those aberrant behaviors that are red flags for insider threat and security risk. Well, in the Ivins case, his history of criminal behavior, breaking and entering, vandalism, retaliation against people who he believed had offended him or abandoned him, surreptitious activities, breaking into, taking the email passwords for his most trusted people, patterns of blaming others for things, the split in the behavior, the inconsistency. All of us behave slightly differently in different settings. But to the extent that our behavior and our personalities are pretty well integrated, that's a sign of health. For someone like Bruce Ivins, what we found in looking at his materials, and looking at his medical records, his work records, his emails, vast differences in who he was, public and private, in different people, carrying on a secret life. And to me, that's a major workplace risk, a major security risk. Preventive measures include screening of people and also paying attention when aberrant behaviors arise. I mean, people can be absolutely fine and then over the course of their life have events occur that are problematic, and they respond to those in even more problematic ways. And so having, again, an environment in which people pay attention and say, gee, Ron seems a little bit different. What's he doing? Why is he behaving in this way? And to reach out to that person and contact them, but also to be observing that behavior and saying, well, maybe it's time that we take another look. Well, the personnel reliability programs in place within the government, I think, are much improved along these lines. But as someone alluded to, they're largely checklist at this point. So we haven't quite gotten to the culture piece. And again, it's not just a culture of, gee, I'm checking on you. I think it needs to be a combination of that plus I'm looking out for you. I don't. I realize with the anniversary of 9/11 and the anniversary of the Anthrax attacks, all the old concerns, the people who are the doubters have come out full voice, and those who believe that he was indeed the perpetrator have actually remained relatively silent. The doubters will always be there. But I haven't seen anything in terms of new information that I think really casts serious doubt so far.